What's up, everyone? Beast Mode back here with another video. So today we are going to test fairies. There is a common perception that fairy is the most difficult deck to play in the format. For a long time I believed this, and it's often believed that fairy is an S tier deck, but you have to play the deck correctly. So I kind of feel that the deck is not S tier, and one of the reasons why is because it's so difficult to play that I feel a deck should not have to be played 100% perfect to be considered the best, because we don't play 100% perfect. Nobody is playing every game 100% perfect. We all make mistakes. So that means the deck does not have any real room for error, and you're never going to play 100% throughout a 10-round tournament. So I just feel like, how can that be the best deck when you can easily pick up Blackwing and Frogs and Vayu or whatever the case may be, and play with the deck? Sure, you're going to get punished if you make mistakes at some point, but one mistake should not just derail your whole tournament run. So why I'm playing this deck is because this is one of the decks I'm considering to play in the next tournament, trying to do my challenge, which is just, pick up a deck and play with it. The reason why I'm actually playing a game with it is because this deck is difficult to play and I don't know all the intricacies, and there are a lot of rulings and cards I'm just not very familiar with because I don't play this deck at all. And it's not that common. You don't really see it a lot in tournaments because of the fact that it is difficult to play. So I don't get much play testing before tournaments at all. So today I figured, let's hop on the deck. Let's see how hard it really is to play. Kind of learn and get the feel for the deck a little bit, and let's see if it's one of the decks that we'll play on August 5th. I think that's the next tournament I'll be in. So this is the deck: Fairy, Plant Cat, and Disaster Dragon are the three decks I'm kind of looking at to play. The game that you'll see here today, the match you'll see here today, is probably the only match I'll play with the deck. I did play this deck about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and I went like 3-2 or 4-2 in a tournament. I had no idea what was going on, and I haven't picked it up since. So this is one of the decks that got top 12, I think, at one of the deck devastators. I didn't change a card at all, and let's see if we can just load it up and maybe win with it. So I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of mistakes here, and that's okay, because that's kind of what we're doing here. And we're just going to host a game and see, or a match, and see what we can do. A lot of these cards, again, Herald I don't play very often. Honest, you really have to know the damage calc. Pretty much you have priority in damage calc, which is the most important. The recruiter line is the most difficult with the deck, from what I hear, and I've seen better players who play the deck more frequently discuss that you really have to know when to set recruiters, when to activate the recruiters, and what recruiters you're actually going to be searching for. Or are you going to grab a DD Warrior Lady at this time, or is it going to be the Dimensional Alchemist? So that can be very difficult, the line to figure out when you're actually playing in a tournament. And again, this deck is very unforgiving from what I have seen and heard, and you really have to be on your A game to play it. So probably in third place in terms of decks that I would be picking for tournament play, but we'll see. So let's just jump in and see what happens here. We're going second, so I don't know if that's good or bad. We're going to say good luck, and we are going to hop in here and hopefully not embarrass myself too much. So I don't know if this is good or bad hand. Seems to be mediocre. I would love to see a recruiter, and that would be nice. So obviously the strengths of this deck are the fact that you have one of the best hand traps, or probably the best hand trap of the format, in Herald of the Orange Light. And you also have Crow if you want in the sideboard. So let's see here. We're playing against Blackwings. It's pretty clear. I think what are we going to do? This is, I don't know, is this a good matchup? Could be a good matchup. I think we're just going to set, are we just going to set mirror? So if we set too many, we play into Icarus attack. Let's just do the dust shoot here and see. Okay, so we don't get to do that. We were just going to set Mirror Force because you can't even play into that back row, because if it's Icarus attack, they just would hit the trap dust shoot and the Mirror Force. And let's see what happens here. So we're just going to take 1700. That's not terrible. And they're setting more back row. So okay, we drew a Christio. No time to draw Chris here like now, I guess. Let's just set the Mirror Force here, and maybe we don't set the Mirror Force. Let's set the Bottomless. That'll insulate us a little bit against Whirlwind, and does not stop the 1700 we'll be taking here, but so they're just going right to battle phase and not giving us anything. We don't want to Mirror Force that one card anyway. Okay, we drew a Shining Angel. So the question is, are we going to get Icarus attacked? I think that we need to... Um, this is tricky. This is tricky. I think we probably have to heavy now, just because we are in trouble here. I think we got a heavy. Heavy to try to ensure that this Shining Angel goes off. They had bottomless, and so it's a 2 for 2. We didn't get any real advantage there, but yep, fair. See if they drop a Colute. They do not, so we're gonna go to the grave. That's 1 fairy, 2 fairy. Let's see. We go into. Do we go into this one? See, I don't even think we did this right. I think we're supposed to go into like Nova into. Put this back in the deck here. I think we're supposed to go like Nova. I'm not sure what we're supposed to do. Maybe there's a Nova supposed to be in there at some point. This probably is not the correct way, because the reality is you want to be able to land on like a DD Warrior Lady. So yeah, so we have to go Nova there. So that's 3. Then we go 4 onto Shining Angel. I think I probably should have done 2 Novas. So we're going to take another 300, and then we're going to go on, I think we're going to go on DD Warrior Lady here. And then we're going to attack, and then we're going to banish. This might be completely wrong, but let's see. Oh, he's thinking. Okay. Maybe they want to drop double for triple honest. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. So we took 200 and we banished. And now we're going main phase 2. I think we're going to go into the Christia here. We're going to grab back a Shining Angel. And do we just set 1? Let's set 2 in case they have a Colute or something. I don't know. We're going to set 2. Whatever. We have the negate in the hand here. And Heavy Storm would be not fun, but that's why we set Book of Moon here. And we are going to book. We must do that. We will be in trouble if we don't. The problem with Christia against Blackwing is that they just don't care. They run it over and drop Colute, and that's that. So I think we're going to... Ooh, this is tricky because... I think it's more or less we... Do we try to do some damage here? How do we really win this game? Because if we summon a Shining Angel, they run it over. We don't actually get to search. But... let's just do it. Let's get some damage here. We don't win without dealing damage. And we're kind of a sitting duck if we don't take the opportunity to attack. Obviously, this kind of hurts the Herald. Blizzard is not real because Christia is on the board, and there's nothing in the graveyard anyway. So I think we're just going to get super aggressive here and hope that we have an out to whatever they summon. Okay, they summon Blizzard. That's fine. That doesn't really get them anywhere because that gets them a value, I believe. And or if they play the Mistral, is it? I believe that's what it is. So we know they have a value in the hand, 3 cards. So I think we're going to actually Legacy here. Try to draw another. And we drew another Christia. But we can't special summon it. And that's good, though, because that works for the Herald. We are going to attempt to attack here. So they're going to Colute, double Colute, and triple Colute. We can actually stop one of those, right? We have a Herald. We can stop one. So I take 27. So I don't think I die here, actually. This does go to the grave. Okay, so they did have 3. They did have 3 Colute right there. That's impressive. So they have a value in their hand and no more Colutes. So we just have to play Protect Christia here. They drew a Blizzard. Oh, I guess that was it. They offered a rematch there. That was very, very close. I actually could have lost. That's triple Kalute over a recruiter. So again, I'm not sure that's the best sequencing. This is really the first time I played this deck in well over a year. I believe these go in. That's for sure. Is this card really good? I don't even know. Let's think about this here. What cards do we want going second? Raiko's kind of slow, but not terrible. But this is also kind of, I'm going to put those in. Let's get in some of these Dust Tornadoes. Let's get rid of that. Maybe take care of that. Let's see. What else can we put in here? Thunder King's decent. Thunder King is decent, but better going first. And how's Call of the Haunted here? I'm kind of debating. I think we're just going to go. Mind Crush is kind of fun, but let's roll with this right now. Let's just see. We're kind of learning as we go. So we almost lost to triple Kalute. Luckily, we have the best hand trap in the game, which is interesting to see that you just didn't lose to triple Kalute, because any other deck you lose right there. But like you're not going to not attack because you attacked earlier in the game and they didn't drop any Kalutes, and all of a sudden they had 3 and they didn't actually search one, so that was pretty that's pretty bananas. This here is tricky because we do have Gores in the deck, just because the card's really good. They're setting 37 back row, so we're kind of in trouble here. So this is perfect draw right now just because we can bait the Gores drop. So we're just going to set the 1 and we're going to say go. Probably not going to live, but that's okay. Okay, no big deal. So I know games 2 and 3 you have to fight through Light Imprisoning Mirror. It could be worse than that. I'm sure there's an Icarus attack down, so like, what are we going to do here? So even dropping Gores is just not that good. I think we probably just let's drop Gores here. Why not? I don't think we are going to be able to out the Kalute anytime, and I'm sure we're going to get Icarus attacked here. So Fred here, I like to call him Fred, is not an actual fairy, so that does not help our situation, drawing this orange. Our opponent left a duel, so we didn't get much testing in there. So, yeah, I think that we are going to... What are their back rows? I really wonder. Maybe we're going to hop into another game because that was kind of not fun. And that's not really good for a video. So let's hop into another one here and really get a little bit better taste of what we are supposed to do when we play this deck. And yeah, so our opponent kind of left in the middle of game 2 where we didn't have a very strong board. We're going to draw for our turn here. And so I'm guessing this is a little bit better. We can just set this. And do we set the return? I feel like we probably should not right now. We don't really want to lose that. That's a very big win condition in the fairy deck because it does play very slow and kind of controlling, and doesn't have the explosive plays. You're setting recruiters the whole time. So, oh boy, we might be in trouble. So you do need to have the return to help with the explosiveness of the deck. So the question is here, what are we doing? I think, do we go for the 50-50 and try to hit a DL to crash? I think we do. So summon good. Oh, good luck. Oh, I didn't even see that. You two got to be respectful, and we are going to banish the top card, and we don't hit it. At this point, I just feel like we could run it over with Honest. Let's just see what happens here. We're gonna attack. I'm okay with crashing here and just putting the fairy in the graveyard. It's a one for one. We do have the Honest if we need to. Anything. Pass. Prio. I don't want to waste an Honest here. And let's see what happens. So Gladiator Beast, never a fun matchup to begin with. I can only imagine how it's going to be playing fairies against them. What is this thing? During damage calculation, in either player's turn, when a monster you control attack, you send its card from half the attack of the monster you control until the end of this turn, but that monster cannot be destroyed by this battle. Interesting. Okay. So of that monster you control until the end of this turn. But so they take some damage here, which they did. And interesting. That card's pretty cool. So it's like a Wabaku or something like that from their hand. It's very difficult, I will say too. I don't typically do this and play live and record. It is very difficult to play and talk and record. So this is not probably getting the most ideal plays, more or less just kind of feeling out the deck. And I think we're just going to end our turn here and see what happens. We do have an Honest. If they have a War Chariot, then they have it, but they probably would have already War Chariot, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe because they had this, they didn't care. I don't know. We'll find out. We do have Fred in the building. So let's think about this here. They're going to get a tag out anyway. I think we're going to do this. Damage out. Because I think we want to like not lose the DL. Okay. So, because we want to try to get some value out of this. So they War Chariot. Okay. So they did have the War Chariot. Yeah, we're in big trouble right now. So this thing dies and doesn't get us anything. And they're going to get a tag. They didn't attack with the other one. Interesting. So we have 2 fairies in the graveyard. And I don't even know. Does Christia... Excuse me, my chair's making all kind of noise. Does Christia really work here? I don't know. I don't know. Does Christia get us there against this deck? That is the question of the day. I think we're going to search this one out. And it's probably just going to get destroyed, but we don't really care. I think that's what we're going to do. That puts us 3 fairies in the graveyard. They could Retiari one. They have a War Chariot. Yeah, we're in a tough spot. That's for sure. Tough spot. Fred is very good against Glads, I think, because you can just blow up the Laquari that are bigger and then run something over. Problem is they have War Chariot, so we are in trouble. So any deck that's playing Recruiters just have a difficult time with Glads anyway. So they have 2 War Chariots now. Yay. So, yeah. That's going to be a problem. And I'm not entirely sure what we need to do here to win this game. We can try to win through return. That sometimes you can steal game against them, but yeah. So they did have a War Chariot, which is interesting. They did not use it on the DL. They just got, like, I guess they knew already they had the Hedge Guard, so they didn't care if I hit a monster or not. So that makes sense. This is going to be tricky. This is definitely going to be tricky. Everybody dreads playing against Glads. It's just one of those decks where you got double War Chariot, you lose. Like, that's what's going on right now. And or they draw no monsters and you just like win. Problem is this deck is so reliant on Recruiters that like even if they don't draw monsters, you just can't get there fast enough. Yeah, so there's a Retiari, which like okay, they remove 1. I feel like we just have the hand that will get us there anyway. I think. So they sent a few War Chariots, and so 3 back row, 5 back row, 27 back row. Okay, we're good. So, like, what do you do here, right? Not a whole lot you can do. We can negate 1 with the Herald, but they have a War Chariot. Is it a cost to send them back to the deck? I do believe so. Yeah. Well, we are going to try to do some Yu-Gi-Oh maneuvers here. We are going to try to attack over the Retiari, and if we summon this, they're just going to War Chariot, I would guess. Yeah. I think we're going to try it and just see if we can maybe bait something here. Let's see. Summon good. See, I don't know the rulings of like Herald that well. That's the problem. I need to call. It's a cost, I believe, right? All Oh, a Christia. Okay. So we're going to enter battle and probably lose to Mirror Force, but we know two of those three are War Chariot, so we're just hoping they don't have anything real. Compulse something back. What do you target? This? Okay, this is going back to the hand. This is going to try to run over this one. Probably going to be unsuccessful. That's the deprison there. And yeah. So we're at 77. I think they still have two War Chariots and one live card here. If we set the return, then we're going to get Geysers or Bestiari. So yeah, I think we just have to do this. I can Herald something, and oh, they had a Proving Ground. So they had two real back row and a Proving Ground. So you can see how brittle like Gladiator Beast can be. If they have one less defensive card there, like we're in a pretty good position. Obviously, they would have had a War Chariot, the DL, but if they go in, like they might go into Heraclinos, which could be a problem for us, especially where they have double War Chariot, because I don't think we have a legitimate way of getting over that. 1600, and they have War Chariot to stop the orange. So I think we're just in a really tough spot. What can we do here? What is the play? They tag back the Retiari. This is not looking good. I'm sure there's some things we could have sequenced differently. I just don't know for sure if we are able to win this game just based on how turn one went. Maybe the play wasn't just summon DL can try to crash, but I feel like if you hit a monster there, like you feel so good. I don't know. Maybe that's not right. So we can try this here, but it's going to get negated. And is that the right play? None of this matters. None of it matters. Actually, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, this doesn't matter. So we're going to get War Chariot here when we try to do the Fred. And actually here, we could... What can we do here? We can do something, I feel like, right? So they have two cards. Or one card they can negate once. So it's kind of one of these things where if we like Mind Control, they negate, we Herald, they War Chariot, and they still have a War Chariot left over. We could Freed, and they War Chariot again, and then they're just going to draw and keep both cards in their hand. So maybe we... This is tricky. Do we try to Mind Control here? And they're not going to let us have that. They're going to negate that. Maybe we have to set up a play where we can return and draw another spell, and or they draw a card and they set it. That's like the goal here, but I don't know if they're going to actually do that. So let's set one. Let's set one. This could be wrong. Like they haven't answered everything we try to do here. We're going to have to pitch to Christia now, but like Christia doesn't get over this anyway. So they have two cards. They can negate two cards we have. We need the return to actually work or we just lose. Because we know they have double War Chariot. So like our key to this victory here is in fact the return. Like if we happen... Okay, so they draw a Proving Ground. So we're in even more trouble now. But they played it. So if they play a monster here and they don't hit the back row for some reason, which like they're going to hit the back row. Yeah, I think we're in big trouble. Honestly, I don't know. There could have been some things I could have done differently, I would imagine. I just don't know for sure what. I'd have to re-watch the film and not sit here and talk to myself the whole time. Let's see here. Let's see what happens. We are pretty low. We're going to get War Chariot. We know that. Let's see if they let this happen. They War Chariot. Okay. And we are going down to... we're going down to 100. Let's see what happens here. They're tagging out. So do they go back into a... The question is it Bestiari or is it the what's the one that gets the war chariot back? They do go for that. That's interesting. So now we do have a play next turn. We do have a real play. It's not great, but we do have one, and we'll see what happens. I don't think it's enough to win. So they have a war chariot face down, and so they keep the war chariot in hand. So we don't have a play. Let's just see here. Maybe we can do something. Maybe. They're gonna negate the mind control, I would guess. They're going to. Interesting. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Let's just see. I'm guessing this is getting negated. Oh, no negate. So this might work. We might get lucky. We are going to make a level 6. So I don't know why they don't negate there. I'm not entirely sure. So we have 3 fairies, but we have to pitch something here. This is going to get war chariot. Right? So we already summoned. Yeah. We just can't win here, I don't think. Right? I don't think we can. If we could summon Fred on top of this, we'd be in a good position, but we can't. War chariot that. Yeah, it's GG. We go to the next game. So let's go to the next match here. Oh, they left. Okay, so that's like 2 half games here. This deck is extremely difficult to play properly, I would imagine. I'm sure I missequenced many things. Let's get back to the... Oh, we lost it. Let's get back to the deck. And you can see here that the deck, we played a couple games, and it's very reliant on knowing when to go into certain cards. Now, this deck is not a deck that you can just pick up and try to play a tournament. It's just not. It's too difficult to play. Of course, I could have made better plays if I'm not sitting here trying to record at the same time. And of course, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but anybody who makes content, they understand, they would agree. It's difficult to play and do that. These cards right here are extremely important in this deck, obviously, because they're the recruiters and they're really the heart of the deck, but you actually have to know what to go in. So I do agree with what people are saying, that the recruiter lines are extremely difficult. Just because you saw that on display there's many choices we could make. You know, we didn't sequence a Shining Angel right, because you want to end on DD Warrior Lady, but if you go through 3 Shining Angels, it doesn't put the 4th fairy in the graveyard, and so it is very tricky. Gladiator Beast is just one of those decks where you can lose to it no matter what. I'm sure I could have done things a little bit differently, but it's just one of those. That's why nobody wants to play against them, because you can sit back and not do a whole lot and just win, or sometimes you just can't draw and you just completely lose, and that's the game. But I want to showcase the deck a little bit and try it for myself. I don't know if it was valuable or not, but I appreciate all the support. We are like 10 subs away from 1K subs, and I want to do something fun when we hit the 1K. So maybe we'll hold like a BCS this next weekend or something. But anyway, if you like the content, if you would please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.